On everybody, welcome. Thank you for those likes. I did not expect to be making a live tonight, and then I realized I got my final session of SMP tomorrow with Scalp Logic, so I needed to make a live. Well, I needed to do a video, and I figured live was the best way to go. The reason why is because I want to show you guys what my head looks like after 10 days of growth, because I was asked to show you by some of the subscribers asked what that looks like. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for those likes. Yo, Chow Mein, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for being here. So on my head right now, I am somebody in the comments the other day said I am the Two-Face of SMP, right? Because I'm shaving my head half and half. This is 10 days of growth. This is freshly shaved. If you guys compare what this looks like to some of the other videos where I document before the SMP session ever took place, you guys are going to be blown away by how dark this looks when compared to what it used to look like. So I want to give you guys my thoughts, guys and girls, whoever's out there watching. I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this procedure. And even though I have my final session tomorrow, I do have some thoughts that I just want to throw out there. Now, I wasn't happy with my hair to begin with. So if you guys watch older videos of mine and you watch the playlist of SMP that I have on the channel, you guys are going to see what my hair used to look like when it was longer. It never really looked all that great because my hair was always pretty thin. Do you think a third session is necessary? Thank you for that fantastic question, Ben. And thank you guys for being here, everybody. I do think it is necessary. It's not necessary. It's not like I have to get this done, but I do think that making it a little bit darker is going to add more of a fine detail to the way everything looks. I feel as though it's going to give me more of a complete look. Could I get away with this? Yes. I think I could have even got away with just having one. But if I'm going to do this, I might as well get it done like full. I really believe that after this final session, it is going to look phenomenal. Like right now, I think it looks great. I think that after tomorrow, it's going to look phenomenal. And I'm going to walk around feeling like I got a fresh haircut all the time. That's how I feel. Like right now, I feel like I got a fresh haircut, but it could be just a little bit darker. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. But that's a great question because honestly, it does look pretty dark. What you want from your SMP sessions is for this to look like, let me see, you reckon if someone were to be completely bald, will the SMP be more noticeable? Great question. I do not think it would be more noticeable. I think it might take more sessions. Because as you can see, my hair is much darker, and that's because we have SMP here and hair. So this looks much darker than what it ever looked like. So the hair amplifies that SMP to a point, as long as you don't go past your natural hairline. But I do not believe that it would stand out more. No, because I mean, check this out. You can't tell anything. With the way Scalp Logic is doing it, you cannot tell what is hair and what is not hair. It's impossible. Like I'm seeing people on YouTube documenting their journeys, and mostly it's advertising for other companies, and they're like, yeah, check out my SMP. And it's like, bro, I see dots. You don't want to see dots. Like maybe from 20 feet away it looks good. But if I can see a dot on a healed person, there's something wrong, you know? So the way to answer your question, if you go to the right person, I'm not saying Scalp Logic, I'm saying anybody who does it correctly, you have zero chance of anyone noticing. They can be all up in your face and no one will notice. My wife cannot tell. She can't tell. And if you have no hair, it's going to be the same exact experience. Because the dots they have... Oh, welcome to the chat. Fellow sir, I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for those likes. So that was a great question. Yeah. If you have no hair, you're going to do just as well as me with hair. Guaranteed. Except it'll look better if you can actually grow hair and you get SMP. It will look better because it's going to look darker if you allow it to grow just a little bit. Yeah, I see dots on a video from the salon guy on YouTube, and he's completely bald. It looked like penned on, but this looks much better. Yes, if they did this wrong, Chow Mein, if they did this wrong, you would still see the dots. Even though I can still grow hair here, you would absolutely see the dots. You can't see anything. Like Scalp Logic is like, I hope they don't mess up now, but they're perfect. They are so meticulous. It is unreal. So if you were going to get it done, obviously I would recommend them because I trust them. You can't tell anything. They are giving you a real hair look, a genuine hair look that no one will ever know. The process they use ensures that no one will know. That's why it might take some more sessions than if you go to somebody else, because their process makes it so that you can't tell. You go to somebody else, they might be able to get it done faster, quicker, but there is always a chance that you will be able to tell, especially after it heals. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad it looks good. Fellow sir, I really am glad that it looks good. I'm very happy, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm going for my final session tomorrow, so it should look even better tomorrow. And they're going to be going live tomorrow, so if you guys want, make sure that you check out their live, probably around 11 a.m. or something like that. They're over in Texas, so 11 a.m. Texas time, approximately 11 a.m. or maybe like 11:30, they're going to go live. Great question. Did it hurt? It feels like a little pinch. Little pinch. I mean, you're asking somebody who has ink, right? So they're going much deeper with this, and so it's going to be a lot more painful. Like when they're wiping this, they're wiping blood. When they're wiping this, there's zero blood. If you ever go to an SMP artist that you have like pus or blood coming out, there's something wrong. But yeah, it did not hurt. I could not call it pain. I would call it, honestly, if I closed my eyes, it starts to feel like kind of numb and relaxing, like I could fall asleep to it. Once in a while, you'll get a little bit of a pinch that's like, ooh, wait a minute. But that's usually after you've been, after like 2 hours of having it done. And eventually your nerves just are kind of like getting pinched there. So, but pain, I couldn't call it pain. I would not say that pain should deter you from this if you're going to the right people. Again, if it looks that good on the scalp, they could probably even make a beard look believable. If someone were to be patchy, if they did those. I do agree. Now, the facial skin is different. That's an excellent question. And if you're on the live tomorrow and I forget to ask them, if you can watch that live, drop that question. It's not going to be on this channel. It'll be on Scalp Logic's Instagram and or YouTube. Great question. I'm going to try to remember to ask that question. If you could do that on your face. But the skin on your face is different. Much thicker than on the top of your scalp, at least with me. Because of like years of shaving, your skin kind of toughens up a little bit. But that's excellent. That's an excellent thought. If you have a patchy beard or you just want to make it look thicker, man, I think that would be phenomenal. You could have a permanent 5 o'clock shadow, like that real chill 5 o'clock shadow look. Off topic, but do you like Moissanite at all? Oh, yeah. Fellow sir, I mean, if you follow the channel, which I do believe you do because you saw this live, I love Moissanite. Love Moissanite. Moissanite is the bomb. If you want, I could throw out a live talking about Moissanite. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you want to see a live talking about the Moissanite and my thoughts on it. But yeah, if you watch my videos, I love Moissanite. Moissanite's the wave of the future, and that is an amazing way to up your game on a budget. Super, super budget friendly, And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Nothing wrong with that. Moissanite's the way to go. In my personal opinion. Not telling you guys what to do. Everybody has their own budget, their own thoughts. It's all good. For sure, I mostly watch your gold chain videos. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm glad the content is helping. Really. Truly. But yeah, Moissanite is the bomb. It's amazing. Amazing. So I just want to mention again for anybody who, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for those likes. Really appreciate it. I hope this is helping you guys. Again, 10 days worth of growth for anybody who just came in compared to completely shaved down with 2 sessions of SMP. And I'm going for my 3rd one tomorrow. Do I believe that CZ deserves the hate that it gets? No. I mean, I don't know too many people that hate CZ, like hate it. But I know it doesn't get the best. I know it doesn't really get the best, rep. I don't believe it deserves the hate or a bad rep. It just depends on what you want. Because CZ can look phenomenal if it's a quality CZ, because there's different qualities of everything. But you have to know it will not last forever if you don't really baby it. You have to baby CZ, and that's annoying. In my opinion, I would just go for the Moissanite, unless you're just trying to look great for a weekend and you really don't care. CZ is like a disposable diamond. You buy a good quality one, throw it away. But yes, so try to come to those lives. Try to come to that live tomorrow. Yeah, I've seen it in the video comparing the rings. Or am I wearing my chains in Mexico, James? I really haven't been wearing them often. Once in a while, depending on where I am and who I'll be with, I do wear my stuff, not Moissanite. I have not worn Moissanite not one time since I've been here. Okay, cool. You'd love to see a live about what I'd recommend. Okay, cool. Sounds good. I will set up a separate live in regards to Moissanite in the future. Definitely. I'll tell you guys what I think about it, where you guys can go. I mean, of course, there's the usual places, but I will be very, very open, honest, and transparent with what you should look for and all that stuff, because there's different grades of everything. So you do have to be careful where you shop, what you're getting, and all that stuff. But yes, so try to hit that. If you're interested in this, if you're not interested in this, don't bother. But the live tomorrow, in case you guys have any questions about the SMP, hit up that live on Scalp Logic's page. I don't know if they're going to be posting that they're going to be coming live tomorrow or not, but try to stick around or get an alert, something like that. If you subscribe to their channel on their Instagram or on YouTube, you'll get an alert and it'll tell you that they're live. You guys, if you got questions, and if you got any questions now, drop some questions. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just me. I wanted to say something. This is looking so fresh, like so clean and so crisp, especially I can imagine after the 3rd session. I really feel like if I could go back, Harlem Bling's got great stuff. They really do. And their quality's good. Their shipping is good. Harlem Bling has some great stuff. But I wanted to mention that as far as this goes, if I could go back, which I can't go back yet, right? I can't go back now. It's almost the 3rd session. I would probably lower my hairline, to be honest with you. And the reason why is because now that I'm growing my hair out, I miss when my head is shaved. Like when my head is shaved, it is super, super clean. And I just look fresh all the time. So if I had brought the hairline down, I would always look like I got a fresh haircut. I'd be looking super clean, like, I guess the word dapper is the wrong word, but just fresh. I would be looking fresh. I still feel like this looks fresh, but I feel like the hairline could be brought down a little bit more. And I actually love shaving my head every day because I can walk out with confidence. I don't have to worry about combing my hair. Another thing I wanted to address, can I bring the hairline down in the future? Excellent question. Yes, I can absolutely bring the hairline down in the future. Once I do, if I do, I can't go back at that point unless I get it lasered off, which With this light touch, it'll be very easy to laser off, but who wants to do that? You know what I mean? I would never want to do that. But yes, you can. I can bring it down in the future. Plenty of room to do whatever I want. As long as you don't go below your natural hairline, you will be fine. So just imagine if I had this shadow here and I had this grown out, it would just be a shadow here and grown out hair here. So you can see the contrast of what that would look like. At that point in time, you are stuck shaving your head every single day. But if you guys do that already and you're already missing hair, who cares? You're shaving your head already. You might as well shave your head and look like you got a haircut. So bring that hairline down. If I could go back, I think I would. But in the future, I think I will be doing that as soon as I have more time to get another 3 sessions, because it's going to take 3 sessions at least to bring this down. So I wanted to give you guys those thoughts also. My wife, by the way, I don't think she does like when I have more hair, but I don't think she minds this at all. I think she knows that it looks clean, that it looks good, and that it looks like I legitimately have just a shaved head, which is what's supposed to look like. Would you ever get a hair transplant if you wanted a new hairline or stick to SMP? And how often do I need to shave? Excellent questions. Excellent questions. Thank you guys. You guys are helping the whole channel. So to address the first question, would I ever get a hair transplant if I want a new hairline? I absolutely could. My wife has mentioned it, but it's stupid expensive. And even more than being expensive, I don't want to be on finasteride and minoxidil my entire life. I don't need that, man. I don't want that. Like, so many people are like, you're on steroids, completely unrelated, but they're like, you're on steroids. I'm not on steroids because I don't want to have to stick myself every day of my life. It's like another thing to worry about. Same thing with minoxidil, same thing with finasteride. You need to continue that therapy after you get a hair transplant, because if you don't, you just wasted thousands upon thousands of dollars. Even if you go to Turkey, you know, so many people are going to Turkey for hair transplants. You're wasting thousands if you don't do the medical therapy. And so you got to hope that they work. You got to deal with the pain, the discomfort, the shedding. There's a lot you have to deal with. And from my perspective, you still have to comb your hair at the end of the day. So I'm at a point in my life, I don't know about where you guys are at in your lives, but I'm at a point where I don't want to have to deal with my hair being combed. It's annoying. It's like a nuisance, you know? So that next question was, would you ever, no, we did that. And so to answer your question, I would stick to a new hairline with SMP. I would. How often do I need to shave? I don't need to shave every single day because I didn't go below my hairline, right? So if I went below my hairline, I'd have to shave every 2 days. Every 2 days I'd have to shave. But because I didn't, I can get away with it looking really clean like every 3 days. After 3 days, it starts to get a little long. And then it starts to look a little bit like this, you know, a little more like this. It looks less clean like this, you know. I don't think it looks too cool like this. I like it like this. I really do. I completely forgot about the meds. I've always said as soon as I start losing my hair, I'm flying to Turkey. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I mean, I'm glad you have your hair. I'm very glad you have your hair, Chow Mein. As far as Turkey goes, tons of great results, right? I mean, there's different clinics out there. They're getting so much business. They got to be doing something right over there. Just make sure you find the right clinic. Honestly, I wouldn't want to deal with the meds. That's not something I would want to do. For me, it would actually work because all I would have to do is get some grafts here. You know, it wouldn't be too expensive. It wouldn't be terrible. But I also feel like, again, I don't want to take those meds. Once you come on those meds, you have to continue taking them. You can't stop taking that stuff because then you just lose your hair. And your recession might get worse from what I understand. So you don't want to start taking them and then stop. So I don't want to deal with drugs. I don't want to deal with that stuff unless it came to a point where, like, I don't know. I don't know why I would ever want to get a hair transplant for these, you know. But anyway, that's my thoughts on hair transplants. I really love this look, man. Like, it is so clean. And another thing I wanted to mention. So some people are like, I've seen online on other YouTube channels, some people are like, oh, well, if you see light bouncing off your scalp, people are going to know that you got SMP. Not true. Not true. Why is that not true? Because look at my head right now. You see light bouncing off my scalp. I have hair. This is real hair. So the fact that light bounces off your scalp, don't worry about that. If you're trying to darken your SMP to the point where light does not bounce off your scalp, there's something wrong and you're going way too dark. So my point is that it's so natural to have that light bounce. You want it to bounce because it's normal. It's natural. When you have closely shaved hair, your light bounces off your head. So it's normal. Was your hair receding or thinning? Yes, my hair was thinning. And as you can see, my hair's always kind of had like a widow's peak, like you see here, coming back. It's always kind of had that ever since I was very young, like 17, 18. So I've always had that, but it has thinned because my hair used to be a lot thicker. So it's definitely thinned over time. I've always had thin hair, but I have noticed that it has thinned. The widow's peak hasn't changed too much, gratefully. But, yeah, I have seen some changes. Very minimal, though. Very minimal. But, yeah, so those are my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, I know you guys are saying it looks good. What are your thoughts on the color, on the shade, on the light bouncing off? You guys got any thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, you can see the light bouncing here. Even if I grew this out like another, 5 millimeters, which would be insanely long compared to this, you'd still see light bouncing because that's what happens. At least with people who have thin hair. So when you naturally shave your head, you want to see that light. You want to see that light bouncing. Not all places that you'll be at are going to be looking like you got like a thick layer of hair if you shave your head, I was on it for a while, but I don't really want to take that risk. Oh, you were on the drugs. Reminds me of GSP's haircut to me. It's a super clean look. Congrats. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yeah, but as far as being on those drugs, I don't blame you for stopping. I've looked at the drugs. I have. Because they do amazing things, but the picture of someone smiling and having like this great hairline after, it's not worth it to me for the side effects. Not worth it to me. Too dangerous, not well researched enough. There's too many people saying you can't come back from some of those side effects. I shut it down right there. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys think it's a clean look. No, creatine. People say it causes hair loss for some. I've actually heard that, Chow Mein. I have heard that creatine does cause hair loss and that it does cause hair thinning. It depends on the person. I take creatine. I've actually taken creatine pretty much my whole life. Pretty much, with like an exception of like maybe 10 years, 8 years. I've pretty much taken creatine. I don't know that I've really noticed anything personally because my hair's always been kind of on the thin side, but I have heard that creatine does thin your hair. But I like what it does to like my overall look because it makes a difference. Like you come off creatine, all that water weight goes away. You look like you're on, depending on, if you're taking your regimen properly, how much you're training and all that stuff. You take creatine, it could look like you're on steroids, which is a pretty comparable to a degree. I'm not telling you like, it's going to change your whole life, you're going to be, but for me, it's a substantial difference being on creatine. So I like that extra look, that extra whatever that is, half inch or whatever to my whole body. I like it too much. So I'll take the thinner hair over stopping the creatine because I love pre-workout. I love creatine and all that stuff. It's done a lot for me. So, but yeah, I've heard that too. You're not crazy. At one point, I thought that was like folklore, but no, it's true. People have seen a difference, but it's only certain people. Just like with finasteride and minoxidil, some people they'll take that, they'll get zero side effects. And some people, they take a low dose and they're like, they don't work anymore, you know? But yeah, so I don't know if you guys got any questions, any thoughts. But oh, I wanted to touch on this again. I started touching on it, but you got people out there looking for SMP that is so dark where even under the bright sun you can see it. If you're getting SMP that is so dark where under like a super bright sun you can see it and it looks like a thick layer of hair, that's too dark. You're gonna have bleeding eventually, like the ink is gonna bleed and you're gonna look like you have a helmet. You do not want it that dark. It's not gonna age well. Don't think about today. Think about 10 years from now. You know, it's gonna cost you more money to come back from that if you don't get it done right the first time. I go to the gym 3 times a week and I'm trying to work out more at home. And I love that extra look. I used it for about a month, but I'm still not sure. Okay. Gotcha. It really comes down to how much you're training. If you're training every, like I train every day, pretty much. I'm always getting my training in. If you're dedicated to the gym like that and you want to see a substantial difference in your body, I would say start with use the creatine. Keep in mind, when people come off of creatine, from what I found, their hair comes back. Like if they did lose any, their hair does come back from what I've seen. So you can experiment, and if you see a change in your hair, take some pictures. If you see a change in your hair and you don't like that change, it's not worth it for you, because if your hair starts thinning or losing, you're going to see that, but you're also going to see the results from the creatine, if there are any, right? So you can compare, what do I care about more? That'll give you a good idea on what you should focus on, I think. But it's excellent point. Because some people, they want their hair, and every single hair, they want the thickness. Creatine's a no for them, and that's cool. That's absolutely cool. Yeah, no problem. Do your own research too, but this is from the research that I've done, because I've done research on it. And so from what I've found, your hair comes back once you stop taking it. So it's not a permanent thing from what I understand, and from comments that people have made to me who've seen it. You know, once they stop, it comes back and everything's good. So yeah, no worries. I'm happy to help. So anyway, guys, if you have any thoughts, let me know. Again, be careful where you're going. Be careful not to get it too dark. You want this natural look. If you don't make it look like hair, it's going to look like ink. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but I feel like it's important to say, because sometimes people don't realize that you can actually get it to look like actual hair. People might think, oh, I'm kind of stuck with this dark look. You don't have to be stuck with that dark look. You can have normal, natural hair. You know, hair. As you can see. So, like when you stand in front of Joe from Scalp Logic, you can't tell. You look at his head and it's like, no, you got hair. But he's got no hair on top. So, anyway, guys, if none of you guys got questions, can you talk about the cost? Yeah, I can definitely talk about the cost. I think that's a fantastic question. So, the reason why no one talks about cost when it comes to SMP, well, not no one, some people do. Scalp Logic isn't going to tell you how much it's going to cost if you go to Scalp Logic. If you go to somewhere else, they might tell you, yeah, it's going to cost this much, because they're guaranteeing the time. So if you go to a tattoo artist, let's say, to get something like this, if you go to a tattoo artist, in my opinion, who tells you, yeah, it's going to cost this much because it's going to take this many hours, if they can give you a definite, I don't think that's necessarily the best tattoo artist, because you can't determine how art is going to come out. You need to take your time with it. So as far as cost, I've mentioned in my previous videos, they're doing this for me for nothing. They're doing this for me for free. So if it wasn't for free, it probably would have ran me about $5,000. If I remember correctly. Don't quote me on it, but it may have run maybe like in the high 4,000s, something along those lines. But everybody is going to be completely different, especially if you go to a good SMP artist. Okay, I got you. I'm going to answer that question in a minute about the light. So I just wanted to mention, though, the price is going to be different depending on where you go. Damn, bro, that's a genius move by them. As far as doing it for free, they were so cool. They called me up. I was at the gym one day. They're like, "Hey, listen, we saw your video. You mentioned us in your video. We love what you're saying about SMP. You know what you're talking about. We want to do the procedure for free for you." I was like, "Psh, okay. Let me know when to come." Keep in mind, though, it's costing me a lot of money in travel because I'm traveling back and forth from Mexico to Texas. It's getting tired. But I know it's worth it because, I mean, I'm getting this done for free. I mean, this would have cost, you know what I'm saying? So it is costing me, a few grand for travel, but I think it's worth it. But yeah, so the cost, it's going to be different for everyone because your sessions are going to be less or more than mine. So they can't guarantee it. If you go to a place like, I don't know, Scalp Micro USA or, whatever companies out there, I don't want to go naming names, but if you go to them, they can guarantee you, yep, it's going to cost this much. And it's going to be probably a lower price. I hate to say it. If they're giving you a quote, that means they're going to rush that job to get it done in that amount of time. No disrespect to anybody. But I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing, yeah, it's going to cost this much. Because I can guarantee you 2 sessions. You're going to guarantee 2 sessions. That means you're going dark and you're going quick and you're going heavy. So that's why no one talks about price. If they're good, no one's talking about price really, in my opinion and my experience, because you can't put a price on art and you can't put a price on perfection, right? You want this to be perfect. How can someone give me a price on perfection? It doesn't. I never got a price on this. He gave me a roundabout price. He never said it's going to cost this much and take this long. Look at his work. Same deal with this. All right, so is the SMP extremely light in certain lighting? It is, but there has not been one lighting that I could not see my hair. Let me put it like that. I was at the zoo the other day, and we were in the bright sun, and I had my hat off. I still was able to see the shade in the bright sunlight in Mexico. So let me put it like that. And this has only been the 3rd session. But depending on the lighting, it will change color. I actually did a video showing you different color, different temperature lightings and stuff. But I'll continue to make more of those to be more in depth. I'll go outside, go in the sun and all that stuff for you guys in the future. So I hope that answers the question, Home of the Obsessed. I hope that answered the question. If it didn't, let me know and I'll try to answer it better. You're an amazing personality. They saw the opportunity. Thank you. I'm grateful for them for doing this. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words. So many people would disagree with you about my personality, let me tell you, but I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Is the ink they use versatile to every hair color? Yes. So the ink that they use, excellent question, Chow Mein. And no problem, Home of the Obsessed, no problem. So the ink they use is versatile for every hair color. Now, what some artists will do that I've found out through my research is they'll actually give you different color hair, right? Now, they're using pigments in that different color hair, but I found out that those pigments over the years will separate. So if you get different color treatment, like they're adding color, that can separate over time, and your hair starts to look blotchy. I got you, Jamie. Just give me 1 second. I got you. I got your question. So your hair will start to look blotchy. Not cool. That's not good for years down the road. So what Scalp Logic does is they use black, and what they do is they look at your natural hair color. They look at your natural skin tone and they dilute the black to a specific shade of black or gray, depending on what it looks like. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but regardless of who you are or what your hair color is, when you shave it down super low, like super, super low, it looks gray. Or like really light black, right? So keep that in mind. There's no need to be getting different color SMP like some people are doing, because at the end of the day, when you shave it down, it's supposed to look like this, regardless of your hair color. So they'll use a black, and they'll give you a specific shade of black based on your natural hair, so everything blends properly. So they're simply diluting black, to answer your question. So very, very versatile. Very versatile. They can match. They can do white guys, black guys, Spanish guy. It doesn't matter. They can do it. Doesn't matter what your skin tone is. How many sessions do you think you will need to get to where you want it? Or are you fine with how it is now after the third? So I'm actually getting my third tomorrow, Jamie. I'm getting my third tomorrow. And I've had many, many people tell me, why are you getting a third? Why are you getting a third? It's fine. So as far as that goes, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. So as far as that goes, as far as the, let me just check that comment again. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good with it like this, but I would like to see it a little darker. Just because it's so perfect the way it is now, they're telling me it's only going to get better. So if it's only going to get better from here, man, I am really, like, I'm excited to see what that looks like. But I've had many people like, why are you getting another session? Because it'll only look better, you know? I wouldn't mind it a little darker, but I'm not upset with it the way it looks like now. I'm actually very happy with the color now. But a little darker, I think, would be perfect. I think that'd be cool. As far as, do you know where I can buy a Peruvian rope chain? I wouldn't want to answer that right now because certain people carry them and then stop carrying them. So I don't want to throw out names until I actually look at people's websites and find out if they're carrying them and did they stop carrying them? Did they get it from a different manufacturer? It's really hard when you start talking about where you can buy certain products because those manufacturers that people buy from, they change. Unless they're actually making them. That's different. So I could probably do a live about that later on at some point after I do some research on who's carrying, how long they've been carrying and stuff like that. Because when suppliers change, quality changes with the supplier. And so if I just throw out a name right now, that might not be a good idea. So thank you for the question, though. Excellent question. So does anybody have any other thoughts on the SMP? Any thoughts at all? If not, we're approaching probably about 40 minutes on this live. So I'll probably shut it down and hopefully see you guys tomorrow during the live on Scalp Logic on their Instagram and or YouTube. Be in touch with them. Leave comments. If they haven't scheduled their live yet, leave a comment saying, are you gonna? What time is your live gonna be? Whatever, or subscribe to them. Yes. Can you do a video of how it looks indoors and outdoors, like in sunny conditions? Absolutely, I absolutely can. I will get to that once this heals, because I want to give you guys a true to life look at what this looks like, so you guys know what the results are. So probably about a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. Every month moving forward, I'll do that. I'll go inside, I'll go outside in the sun, show you guys what it looks like. And so every month you'll be able to see what it looks like up until like 6 months, where I think then it'll be fully healed and all that. And then you guys will be able to tell, what the deal is. Absolutely. Great question. Thank you for that. Great question. Any other thoughts, guys? Guys and girls, I don't know who's watching. We do have women out there getting SMP, so that's legit. Whether you want to like darken it up, thicken it up, or just like fill in patches from alopecia, like there's so many different reasons why you might get this. So I'll give it another 45 seconds to let. There we go. Okay. I think most SMP is way too dark and it's unnatural. I agree, home of the obsessed. I agree. The thing is, people who are bald, they think that SMP needs to make them look like they have actual, like, long hairs on their head. And the reason where that's come from, in my opinion, and what I've seen, is people doing it wrong. So many people have been doing it wrong for so many years, where they're like putting thick layers of ink on your head. People are like, wait a minute, it doesn't look like that. And so that means that, it's too light. You want it to look light in so many different places. You want it to look light when you go in the sun because that's how natural hair acts. If it doesn't act like that, you got it too dark, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, you got it too dark. The dots are going to be too big. I can't stand when I see so many of these huge companies doing big dots. Like, why are you doing big dots? That's not going to end well for the person, especially down the road. In person, if you're in front of somebody and you start seeing little dots on their head, it's going to be like, wait a minute. Something doesn't... It might not look off right away when someone looks at you, but if you have big dots on your head, something's going to look off. Maybe not right away. They might not know right away, but they're going to look at you. Oh, yeah, he's got hair. Yeah, he's got hair. Something's weird about him. Is it his hair? Is it his teeth? What is it? Is it his ears? Eventually, someone's going to know. So, if someone goes too dark, is there a way to revert it? Definitely, definitely. Oh, 4. Love the double curb Cuban from Harlem Bling. Thanks for your recommendation. My privilege, my privilege. Happy to help. Thank you for that comment, 4. Thank you for that comment, 4. So Home of the Obsessed, I'm glad what I said makes sense, bro. I think it could be good. If someone goes too dark, is there a way to revert it? Absolutely. You have to get laser. You have to get laser. And I do not like the idea of that personally. I don't know about you guys. I don't like the idea of that. That's painful. It can leave scars. It's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of pain. I don't like it. But that's how you would have to revert it. I think it'd be good for people who like the spray fibre lineup for edges for a crisper cut and make it look more permanent. As Chow Mein, do you mean as far as like a darker look, like a thicker, heavier look? Yeah, if you want it to kind of look like that, like maybe give it like a taper, yeah, you can do that if that's what if I'm understanding correctly, make it crisper, give it more of a haircut look. Yeah, you would have to go darker for that. But personally, I feel like it's a little dangerous. As SMP progresses over time, is it possible that people can get to a point where it's like, whoa, you look like you gave me a fade, but it's only ink? Yeah, I guess it's possible. It is possible, but I don't know how well that's going to last over time. Because if they're going that dark and heavy and, whatever, that ink can start to move and bleed. This was super sharp, and it still is very sharp, right? But it bleeds over time. So these sharp edges are not sharp anymore, even though they still look very good. But that's why your artist has to know what they're doing. Because you can tell them, yeah, I want a certain look, and they'll be like, yeah, I'll give you hair. You'll walk out looking like you got hair. Might look good for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months, 8 months, but this is for like years, man. Like you don't want, this is for years. So you got to make sure you go to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Are you more confident after getting SMP? Is it life-changing? Home of the Obsessed. Excellent question. It's life-changing for me, and I have hair. So imagine what it would be like to someone who doesn't have any hair, right? Imagine what that would be like. I still can grow some hair. So, yes, it is life-changing. It does make me feel more confident. Because when I'm walking around with my head shaved now, I feel like I have a haircut. Whereas before, when I shaved my head, I felt like a baby with 0 hair. So now I'm walking around, I got a clean head. It's super smooth, no hair, but I got hair, right? And I feel good about that. Because everybody who sees me, now I'm like, they know I have hair. They know I have hair. So I don't have to feel not confident. I don't need a hat. You know what I mean? I'm not glued to a hat, which feels great. Savage Tattoo looks like an Irish painting. Where I'm from. Oh, Chow Mein, thank you so much. Stopping in from Ireland. Excellent, excellent. Oh man, I really want to go to Ireland one day. Absolutely beautiful. This was a true to life picture that I found online. And I brought it to the artist and I was like, I want this. He gave it to me. He did a great job. Used to buzz my head, saw some bald spots and got SMP 5 years ago. Grew my hair out during COVID, and now my hairline started to fall back a bit more. Just got a bit of the SMP lasered off. Ah, smart. Smart. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm afraid of like hair transplants. One of the reasons why I'm like, cautious of that. Your hairline's going to constantly change. So if your hairline's constantly changing, you need upkeep. Now, SMP, you might still need upkeep, right? Every 5 years, 6 years. But keep in mind, though, that's a lot of the time for people who are not taking care of their head. Me, you're not going to catch me out in the sun, even if I didn't get SMP. You're not going to catch me out in the sun without a hat. Why? Because it's going to damage the skin on your head. You ever see people with real thick skin on their head? It looks sunburned and damaged. I don't want that for me. So you got to take care of it. I'm going to be putting sunblock on my head. I'm going to be wearing a hat in the heavy sun. So this is probably going to last me a really long time because I'm going to take care of it. Just like I take care of this. I do not leave the house without sunblock on my tattoos. And that's why my tattoos have lasted so well for so many years. Because I take care of them. So if you take care of this, it's going to last a long time, and you'll need less maintenance than if you didn't take care of it. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for your personal experience, VY. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. All right, everybody. Does anybody have any other thoughts, any other questions? Thank you all for dropping these excellent questions. What's your daily and tonight routine? So daily, since I've got excellent question. Thank you so much, Home of the Obsessed. Got you. Oh, what's your daily and night routine? No problem. Got you. So daily routine and night routine is I moisturize. Now, what you use to moisturize is completely up to you, and it's also up to your lifestyle. So me, I go to the gym, I sweat a lot, so I use a lot of natural moisturizers. Stuff like oils, like jojoba oil, or a really light, natural, less chemical type of moisturizer. If you're not sweating all that much, you can use any moisturizer you want as long as you don't mind chemicals. Sometimes chemicals are good. Sometimes chemicals work better than natural stuff. But my routine is moisturize, and if I'm going in the sun, I'm wearing a hat or I'm wearing sunscreen all the time. So if you want healthy skin on your head, very important to keep it moisturized. That's the main thing. And then every once in a while, I'll use a scrub, a natural kind of like a sea salt scrub. Get off that dead skin. Real light though, real light. Get out of the shower. I do that in the shower. Throw on some moisturizer. Good to go. But make sure if you're out in the sun, you're wearing that sunscreen. Very important. Crazy important. Or wear a hat. That's a good time to wear a hat because you don't need thick sunburnt skin on your head. You don't need that. That's going to make it hard for hair transplants. That's going to make it hard for SMP. That's going to make it hard for everyday life. You don't need that. Sun is amazing, but scary what it can do. So keep that in mind. Excellent questions. Thank you so much. So again, day and night, same thing. I might moisturize 4 times a day. Nothing crazy. You don't even have to go that crazy. You can do it once in the morning, once at night. But, of course, this is for my skin. Keep that in mind. Some people's skin is very different than mine. Some people have different types of skin. Some people have dandruff. Some people have... Even if you shave your head, you might have dandruff. All dandruff is just, dry skin pretty much, right? So, moisturizing, it can solve almost all your problems depending on what those problems are. So my routine, all I have to do these days is just moisturize. If that ever changes, I could always talk about that in the future. But all I need is just moisturizing. Excellent question. Thank you so much. I don't even know what time it is.
8:23.
8:23. Okay, guys, it's 8:23 over here. And unfortunately, I got to get up super, super early. I got to get up at like 2 a.m., I think, in order to get over to Texas to see Scalp Logic. So I'm going to let you guys go for now. I hope all of you are doing very, very well. Thank you so much, every single person who's been here, giving me those likes and thumbs up. Thank you so much. Is it extremely shiny in bright lighting? Extremely shiny. I mean, I'm under some pretty bright lighting right now. I wouldn't call that extremely shiny. I've been under some really shiny lights at the airport. I haven't seen anything that looked absurd. Only natural. I've only seen it look natural. Excellent questions. 3:23 a.m. there. Chow mein. Man. Whew. Let me say, you are a night owl. That is awesome. I love it. Thanks for the live. My privilege. It's my privilege to help you. I'm so grateful that you guys left those questions because you guys are saving people's lives with your questions. Straight up. You know, I'm glad to have had this experience and to be having it and to share it. So be well, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate it. And thank you all for your fantastic questions because your questions are what made this live good. Definitely not my answers, your questions. Hope to tune in tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ask those questions. Tune in. Thank you guys for that support. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Adios, amigos. Adios.